Our journey begins with a lone hybrid drone, abandoned in the desert and missing his arm. Lost and confused and on the verge of starvation, I decide to head towards the two towers peeking over the dunes and hoping that I might find some food there. And so I run, as fast as my legs will carry me. Soon I come across a group. They can only be described as the undead. Luckily, I managed to run by them, as their runners were distracted by a fresh meal. We have nothing to buy food, and no skills to steal it with. So we resort to manual labor. Later I find that looting the dead turns out to be very profitable. With food in our bellies and clothes on our back, we can now think of the future. To replace our arm, we must journey further into the desert to find a roboticist. Once we reach our destination, I happen to find a robot that just so happens to be selling an economy limb I can afford now. So now we have an arm. I decided to get some real combat experience with this new foe. Thankfully, the guards were always on standby and made sure I did not fall before them. I will not be anyone's meal today. However, in a way, they will become my source of food instead, as their goods of travelers long forgotten nourish me with the income that they provide. Luckily, the dead attacks often, so my source of income is in no danger of running low. We then continue our training and foraging until we can afford a better arm. During my usual foraging, manhunters caught sight of me and decided I would be a worthwhile slave to have. I had no choice but to forget my training and drop my goods in order to escape with my life and my freedom. I returned to retrieve my wares. As I went out to finish the job I started, I noticed the dead feasting on themselves. It seems they are not picky where they get their next meal, whether it be from a fallen enemy or even a fallen friend. The thought of this frightened me. Whatever disease they are stricken with means that they will never stop hungering for flesh. Later, we learned to visit the prison and acquired trade goods and very cheap meat from the warden. Once we were no longer starving, I happened upon an excellent drinking buddy who befriended me. He was called Turtle. Turtle happened to be very strong and very proud of his thighs. While his remarks do not bother me, he will be a very helpful addition to help me survive. I'm sure he will help me survive this plague longer than I ever would alone. It was time for that arm now. Together we trained and looted and trained, until we never had to worry about a meal for a long time. Then one day during our training, I was assaulted by the guards and thrown in jail. False accusation of terrorism, they say. Maybe the act of carrying the dead was seen as biological warfare, or maybe it was our whisperings of what to do with the body afterwards. Anyway, still in captivity, I work at the chains day and night, improving with every attempt. Eventually, I broke free and worked up the courage to escape my unjust imprisonment. I ran beyond the prison that used to feed me, beyond the gates that used to welcome me, and back to the endless desert that wants to consume me. I ran far beyond from what our pursuers could follow. I then reunited with my friend Turtle, and we ventured once more into the unknown. Finally, we reached the end of this desert and happened upon several dangers. Among them were a group that despised our kind and ambushed us. They caught me and beat me until I could no longer move. However, Turtle escaped towards the hilltop, hoping there will be a refuge to save us from these unholy avengers. Until then, here I will rest, and here I will pray. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe to see more, and be sure to let me know your thoughts down below. Have a good one.
I don't wanna go to work cause my boss is a jerk and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life cause